This weekend, there's a celebration of pop culture happening in Rochester. Roc Con coming up tomorrow and Sunday at the Main Street Armory. We're joined again by Michael Dorn, better known as Worf, I would say, from Star Trek: The Next Generation, and by Kevin McDwyer, a volunteer with Roc Con. Thank you for coming back, Michael. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us.
Thank you.
Give the details real quick. Where it's Main Street Armory starts tomorrow at what time?
10 o'clock, 10 to 5, both Saturday and Sunday. It's 900 East Main Street. There's plenty of parking, both out on the site and across the street, so no issues with that. 3 event rooms, cosplay contests for both kids and adults, plenty of vendors, special guests like Michael, and it's just a good time for everybody. It's a good family entertainment. So.
Yeah, Michael, when we were speaking earlier, when you were first casted as Worf, did you ever expect that the series would be picked up, live on for 7 years, and then continue your career so many years later?
No, most of us, I think all of us just figured it was going to go for a couple of years. And like I was saying earlier, just, make a couple of bucks. In those days I had $500 in the bank, so any great job is fantastic. But I think the 7th season we realized that it was pretty big. And then I went on to another show. They called me back a year later to do Deep Space Nine for 4 years. And we still did 4 movies. I did 5 movies, and so it's quite the career.
And we just saw, well, there you are, your headshot, but we just saw an image of Worf, your character. How long does it take to become Worf?
3 years. 3 years. I'm sorry. 3 hours. I'm sorry.
It's early. It's early.
No.
Okay.
Call that Freudian. More,
yeah,
more
right.
Like it felt like 3 years. No, it was 3 hours to start.
And was there a lot of touch-ups during shooting, or did it pretty much last?
All the time. All the time. It was always, the edges would come off. The beard especially would, because you're talking and the beard is glued on, and so they touch up all day long. The first year I went to have lunch with my friends in the commissary, which was kind of a Hollywood moment, but then I had to stop because the beard would just come off, and then they'd have to re-glue it, and it was not fun. It was a brutal thing. I mean, in fact, there was some talk of me coming back to Discovery, the new Star Trek, and I kind of went, oh, and you kind of think, like, not a bad idea. And then you look at the makeup, and you just go, I don't know, 3 years. There I go, 3 years. 3 hours in makeup, which means if you start at 7, you got to be there at 3.
Yeah.
So it was quite the task.
But it's a character that resonated with so many people for lots of different reasons. I grew up watching Star Trek: The Next Generation. Deep Space Nine I liked the most, I think, because I was older. It was my dad that got me into the show, and we watched it as a family, and if we spoke, he had headphones, he'd plug into the TV and put the headphones on.
I know.
And it sounds like you hear similar stories from people that come and meet you.
Yeah, it's very cool, because the first story that I heard was that a lady comes up at the convention and says, "We hate you." And I go, why do you hate me? It's, well, when your show was on, we couldn't speak to our father for that hour. And I go, woof, okay. And then the other thing, which is we've been getting a lot, is that was the hour that they bonded with their father or their mother, whatever the case. And so you get both, and so it's just incredible. And now kids that grew up watching our show have kids, and their kids now are watching the Next Generation.
It's really a timeless series.
It's amazing, yeah. It was so long ago. I mean, it was 30 years ago.
Are you calling me old, Michael? I'm just kidding.
No, I'm old.
Kevin, what is it?
You guys are children compared to.
What else can people see at Roc Con, real quick?
Lots of artists from some of your favorite comic books and just art in general. Plenty of vendors, toys, games, not even just that, just food. There'll be food there available. And like I said, cosplay contest. And you can see a Power Ranger there. So there's other guests that are stopping by. And it's just a good time. And yeah, Vic will be there. So
That's a great story.
Yep. Yeah, it's another Star Trek specialty there. So yeah, it's a good time. Lots of games. There's a video gaming area, so people can sit down and play some of their favorite games there, and just you could really spend all day and have a good time. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Kevin. Thank you, Michael, for your time. Appreciate it, and thank you for your career. You brought a lot of families together on multiple nights.
Very cool.
Even if we weren't allowed to talk.
I know. Just being in the same room is enough, I guess.
Yeah, it is. At Main Street Armory this weekend for Roc Con, and Mark's going to have some forecasts, some showers that he